accused. Senior advocate Mansurul Haq Chaudhary represented Salman F. Rahman and Anisul Haq during the hearing, while Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam argued on behalf of the prosecution. The prosecution submitted the formal charge on December 4, which the tribunal later took into cognizance. According to case documents, Salman F. Rahman and Anisul Haq allegedly held a telephonic conversation during the July mass uprising in which they expressed views favoring the elimination of protesters. The prosecution claims that shortly after the conversation, protesters across the country came under indiscriminate firing, prompting charges of incitement to violence and other crimes against humanity. On the second day of the appeal process, aggrieved candidates started submitting appeals to the Election Commission this morning, challenging both the acceptance and rejection of nomination papers for the upcoming 30th Jatiya Sangshad election. The process commenced at 10 a.m. at the EC premises in the city's Agagaon area, where 10 region-based booths have been set up for filing appeals. According to sources, 41 appeals were lodged on the first day, Monday, against nomination rejections, along with one appeal against acceptance. By 12:45 p.m., the total number of appeals filed over the 2 days stood at 72, confirmed EC officials. On Monday, the region-wise breakdown of appeals included 3 from Khulna, 5 from Rajshahi, 3 from Rangpur, 2 from Chittagong, 5 from Kumilla, 15 from Dhaka, 1 from Mymensingh, 1 from Borishal and 7 from Faridpur. Among these, one appeal from Kumilla was against nomination acceptance. On January 4, the final day of scrutiny, returning officers and assistant returning officers across 300 constituencies examined 2,568 nomination papers. Of these, 1,842 were declared valid, while 723 were rejected. Environment Advisor Sayyida Rizwana Hassan said the main goal of the proposed 5 master plans is to restore St. Martin's Island to its previous natural state. She said that uncontrolled commercial activities in the name of tourism are the main reason for the destruction of the island's environment. The advisor made these remarks at a workshop organized today on the master plan of St. Martin's Island in the capital. She also said the government is trying to regulate the tourism business in St. Martin's while also providing alternative livelihoods for the people of the island. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় SA পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর SA পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। SA পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900। বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। SA পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation, modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties. Seamless and secured. Elegant and eye-catching design. Indulge, relax, discover the first 5-star chain hotels in Bangladesh. Grand Palace Hotel Dhaka, 22 Kakrail, Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Welcome to Grand Club at Mirpur 10 Dhaka. Elegant spa and wellness facility for ladies and gents. Play pool and snooker in international standard billiard zone. World-class gym facility with exclusive equipment for man.
Welcome back. You are watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Monday pleaded not guilty to all U.S. charges during his first court appearance in New York. He also added that he was kidnapped at his home in Caracas and that he remains the president of Venezuela. Maduro's wife Celia Flores said at court that she is completely innocent of the charges brought against her, but the United States. The next hearing on the case against Maduro is scheduled for March 17. Meanwhile, protesters gathering outside the court were shouting slogans and holding banners reading "Free Maduro," "No War on Venezuela," and "USA Hands Off Venezuela." In the early hours of Saturday, U.S. military forces carried out attacks and bombings in Caracas and other parts of Venezuela and captured Maduro and his wife before putting them in custody in New York. Colombia will continue to work with the United States to fight drug trafficking using Washington's intelligence and technology, the South American nation said on Monday. We will continue coordinating and cooperating in the fight against drug trafficking, Interior Minister Armando Benedetti said in a video with Justice Minister Andres Idaraga sent to journalists by the government. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday called his Colombian counterpart Gustavo Petro sick and said a U.S. military operation in the country was possible. Over the weekend, U.S. troops entered Venezuela and captured President Nicolas Maduro, who on Monday pleaded not guilty in a New York court to narcoterrorism charges. Benedetti said that Colombia's anti-drug operations would target drug laboratories, criminal organizations and their camps. Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has warned that any bid by the United States to take over Greenland will result in the end of the NATO military alliance as reverberations from Washington's military attack on Venezuela and the abduction of its leader are felt across the globe. Frederiksen made the comment on Monday following U.S. President Donald Trump's latest calls of the Arctic island to come under direct control of Washington. Trump told reporters on Sunday that he would talk about Greenland in 20 days. That military operation has caused alarm in Denmark and Greenland, which is a semi-autonomy territory of the Danish kingdom and thus part of NATO. If the United States chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, said Frederiksen. Trump has not ruled out using military force to take control of Greenland, and last month, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry who publicly supports annexation, was named as a special envoy to the mineral-rich Arctic island. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said on Tuesday that Denmark can count on European solidarity over Greenland, while warning that NATO members should not attack or threaten each other. Speaking ahead of a trip to Paris for the so-called coalition of the willing meeting on Ukraine, Tusk addressed recent comments by US President Donald Trump about wanting to take over the Arctic island. No member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization should attack or threaten another member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Tusk said. He added that European solidarity and respect for the integrity of European states are fundamental issues. The Polish leader said he hoped to balance support for Denmark with maintaining strong transatlantic ties. Israel killed at least 2 Palestinians, including a girl, and wounded 4 others, including other children, in an airstrike on Khan Yunis in the southern Gaza Strip on Monday, officials at the city's main Nasser hospital said. The Israeli military said the strike carried out in an area controlled by Hamas had targeted a Hamas militant who was planning to attack Israeli troops in southern Gaza. Israel has carried out repeated airstrikes in Gaza since a U.S. brokered deal took effect in October that halted most fighting. Israel says its strikes are aimed at preventing attacks or destroying militant infrastructure. Gaza's health ministry says 422 Palestinians have been killed since the ceasefire took effect. Gaza militants have killed 3 Israeli soldiers during the same period. Under the first phase of the deal brokered by US President Donald Trump, Israel has retained control of 53% of Gaza. Hamas agreed to release living hostages and hand over remains in exchange for the freeing of Palestinians detained by Israel. At least 16 people were killed after being swept away by flash floods in Indonesia's North Sulawesi, an official said on Tuesday, as the search for the missing continued. Heavy rain early on Monday triggered flash floods on the island of Siau, located in the region of Siau Taguladang Biaro, a spokesperson for the local rescue agency said. 16 rescuers have been deployed to search for 4 people who remains missing on Tuesday, the official told Reuters, adding that 18 people had been injured so far. Excavators were deployed to clear main roads covered by large rocks and debris, while residents and rescuers pulled bodies buried by thick mud before transporting them into ambulances. The floods also destroyed hundreds of houses and government buildings, North Sulawesi Governor Yulis Silvanus said. The flash floods took place in the peak of the wet season in Sulawesi Island, as forecast by Indonesia's weather agency. You are updated with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.